Hello guys, me Ivan from Real Camera Fishing. We're here today with a home brewer. If you remember,
lovely downtown Monrovia.
Perfect. If you remember our last episode about brewing, now we're gonna get a little more into the whole brewing process. So home brewer, how long have you been brewing beer?
Since 1978.
That is a lot of time to be brewing beer.
That was the dark ages of brewing beer for home brewers.
1978.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Alarm.
Yeah. All right. So, the process of brewing from home to commercial, how different is that?
Well, it depends on how you want the question answered. It can be very complicated. I'm a technical person, and so it would take forever to answer the question. But over the years, it's gotten much closer to being the same. It's basically the volume. The technologies are very, very, very advanced for home brewers these days. Compared to 20, 30 years ago, it's pretty crude. So it's relatively close if you want it to be. So people are very serious about home brewing spend a lot of money on the equipment. So they have stuff that's as good as commercial brewing, but it's smaller capacity basically.
Okay. And so as today, how we're going to be breaking down everything, like from the mash, I know it's we'd be boiling the water to mash, and are we going to, and fermentation, we know all that today, correct?
Yeah, we'll end up with fermentable wort at the end of the day.
Okay. And are we using concentrate or whole grains?
No, we're using whole grain.
Whole grains. But people, can you explain the difference?
I can, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. We have a lot of work to do.
But
I will. Whole grain, you have to take malted barley and then extract the sugars from it, and it's a much more complicated process, but it's much more flexible on what you can do. Malt syrup or malt extract most of that operation's already been done, so you don't have as much flexibility. It's not quite as fresh tasting, but it's much easier and more approachable for home brewers at the beginning of their career.
All right, so let's start the process, and that way we could get any other questions going on. We'll start
asking. We can maybe just stop as we go along, but we want to keep moving.
All right, sure, no problem.
Okay.
You're the brewmaster here, so we're going to follow your lead.
Well, maybe, but we'll go for it.
All right.
How's it looking?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and we have our MC here.
Yeah. All right, guys. Here we're the beginning of the process of brewing beer.
Malted barley. Malted barley comes in several shapes, flavors, and forms, and that's what we've got here. This is the basis of all the beer in this case. Now we're doing a Firestone Walker 805 clone today, which they are very generous with their recipes, and you can find their actual recipe online.
Okay.
So this is very close to their recipe. And we're going to make 10 gallons. Son, you want to cut this for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. So there's one in here that we're going to only do half of. Let's see, what's only just one malt. So we want 1.5, and they come in 1 pound bags. I'm just going to do about a half of this one. Close enough for government purposes.
Close enough.
Yep.
Close enough.
So here's the other honey malt. Is that the half?
Yeah. No, I just did the half. So, fortunately, the malt comes packaged in convenient sized bags, 5, 10, 1. So why don't you just cut these open for me and hand them to me.
And what is this exactly for?
This is a malt mill. This is this crushes that malt to make the internal portions available for the water to contact and extract the food.
So right now it's just grinding it up and making it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
can make tortillas out of this.
Yeah.
So multi-barley comes in all kinds of different forms, from different areas of location: Scotland, England, Germany, America. Well, if you're familiar with different kinds of beers, a lot of the reason they're different is because the ingredients are different. Multi-barley grown in the United States is different than that grown in England, grown in Germany, grown in Scotland.
And that's what adds a different.
And there's processing too, but no matter what, it's an agricultural product, and so it varies from location to location. The soil conditions, the variety of the barley, everything.
That's like a beer from Mexico.
Yeah,
It tastes different from a beer from the United States. When you go for lagers,
That's right.
it's just because of that variance of the
Exactly.
recipe and the grain.
The heritage of Mexican beers is German.
Yeah.
German lagers. Germans came to Mexico and started the breweries, so that's why most of the the Mexican breweries are lagers. Louder?
Oh, no,
Why?
for me to be louder. Alright, so now since we're grinding up all this, right? All the barley, right?
Yeah.
Now the next process we're going to be grinding, are we going to be more milling or are we
This is the milling process.
This is all the milling
This
process.
is called a malt mill or a grain mill, and this is the milling process. There's two wheels that spin like this,
Yeah.
and as the barley goes down through them, it crushes them. And the idea is not to damage the husk, because the husk is what provides the filter bed, but to crush the inside, so let's kind of smash it rather than tear it apart.
Okay.
And this one is a prosumer grade mill, so it works like a professional malt mill, but it's for a smaller capacity. So each wheel spins at a different rate. So it shears it and forms a much more laterable, easy to filter material. It's a bitch to clean.
I was gonna ask you like about cleaning process, because I hear like just to clean it, it's a little more complicated to clear.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, a home brewer going right to this.
But my system gets 90% extra efficiency.
Okay.
And this is part of the reason.
Okay.
Brew house efficiency is about 90%, which is very high. This is part of the reason.
Okay. And those are the wheels right there.
Yeah. Now one wheel's spinning faster than the other, so when the malt goes down through it, it shears it because one's going faster, so it shears it and breaks it apart rather than crushes it and grinds it up.
Okay.
So the husk just kind of gets rolled off, so it stays intact. I don't know if you do that right where it is.
Okay.
We'll have to do a kind of a funky cleaning thing here.
So it's kind of, you see, for as a home brewer, if you're going to grains,
Yeah, my
it's
was good for
a little bit more investment, but you yield more. When you're talking about yield, he's yielding more of the product and more beer product, and it's easier to the filter process. A lot of beers are filtered; they go through a filter system to get out a lot of the impurities of the breakdown of the mill, all the milling process right here.
Yeah, this is kind of a difficult mill to clean, unfortunately, but sacrificed it for the quality.
Okay.
I'm going to be taking my air and pulling this commercially because you can make whatever the hell you want when you make your own beer. So I like stronger beers and I like hybrids.
Okay.
So I've got a hybrid of Doppelbock and Alt beer here, for instance.
Really now. Last time I drank an alt beer, I woke up with the biggest hangover.
Alt beers are very clean, so they shouldn't give you a hangover. But
Then again, I was drinking a lot that night.
oh, well, that has nothing to do with it, does it?
Yeah, no, I think that was just a little too hardy party.
Yeah.
So, alright. So, that's, I love how you said, like, you can make whatever you want, especially as home brewer. So, okay, you have a hybrid, which is a
couple hybrids.
You have a couple hybrids. And I see that it says pills right there.
Yeah, this is a German Pils style beer.
Okay.
Let's see what we have here. This is what I'm giving you guys today. This is an English double IPA.
Okay. Can you explain the difference between a double IPA and a single IPA? Like a general explanation.
Yeah, it's just stronger basically.
Yeah.
More alcohol, more malt, more hops.
So it's like doubling the.
It's not doubling, but it's just bigger.
Bigger. Okay.
They even have triples.
Yeah. And this one right here.
This is a Fuller's 1845 clone. Fuller's is a famous brewery in England. It's been in existence since 1845. They celebrated their 150th anniversary in 1995.
Okay.
And they said, let's offer a beer that was in the spirit of the beers that we made 150 years ago. And they were just going to do it once, but it was so popular they offer it once a year. But they were really nice. And on one of Jamil's podcasts, they had the brewer from Fuller's and he gave the complete recipe. So that's this here.
Okay. And that one, right? That's a barley wine?
That's a barley wine. This is a Berliner Weiss, which is one of my favorite styles. It's not very strong. It's maybe 3.5%. It's called the Champagne of the North. It's very much like champagne. It's a sour beer. This one tastes a little bit like apple cider.
Okay.
Very carbonated, very crisp. It's wheat beer. It's about 50% wheat. And it has a souring bacteria, so it's very tart. It's like a champagne in tartness.
Right.
Centennial Double IPA. This is my favorite beer on the chest here.
Okay.
It's made in the English style, but it has Centennial hops exclusively. It's wonderful.
And that one right there is a.
That's a Marzen, which is Marzen, Oktoberfest, Vienna style. They're all sort of similar. This is a kind of similar to the way Dos Equis used to be.
Okay, before they changed the recipe, I noticed that.
Before they ruined it.
Yeah, the recipe changed on that one.
I'm a big Sierra Nevada fan. This is a Celebration Ale clone. Sierra Nevada is also very generous. On their website, they'll tell you the malts used, the original gravity, the IBUs, the final gravity, and the hops. So
Okay.
we came up with a Celebration Ale clone. What's this one here?
That one is a English IPA.
This is an English IPA. This is another English IPA. This recipe was devised by my friends that I brew with. One of them, which is a professional brewer at Chapman Craft Brewing in Orange, I believe. Another English, but this has Golden Promise, which is from Scotland. So it's a bit different flavor. The Golden Promise is frequently used for making scotch.
Oh, okay.
Barley wine, my favorite style of beer. This was made is a double version of Sierra Nevada's Bigfoot.
Oh, okay, yeah, I had
and
that.
And it's
Bigfoot,
also made with all English ingredients. So it's just kind of the same ingredients, but English versions, and it's stronger than Sierra Nevada.
Right, so, see, when you say barley wine, I know what a barley wine is because I'm working at a brewery and all that. Correct me if I'm wrong, barley wine is aged in a barrel tin.
It doesn't have to be. It's just, I mean, it can be.
Like a whiskey wine.
It can be. It has, like all English beers, has a long history, but primarily it's a beer that's about as strong as wine in alcohol. This one's 10%.
Okay.
That's why it's barley wine.
All right.
So what we got here? Dunkel's Doppelbock. That's my hybrid Alton Doppelbock. And this is California Common, which is the only indigenous beer of California. It's more commonly known as Anchor-Steam beer.
Oh, okay, yeah, I had English too.
And this, we did side by side, and everybody liked this one better. But like a lot of things, the actual recipe is available. So that's the sweet.
So what would you say to somebody who used to drinking Bud Light, standard beers, and are too afraid to, not sure of getting into more flavorful beers, the IPA, stuff like that? What would you think would be a good starter?
What we're trying to brew today, 805. It's a blonde ale, and it's got more flavor and substance than what you're talking about is called a American light lager is the term it's used, American light lagers. And but it has more flavor. It's kind of it would be a good stepping stone.
How about a cream ale? Would you recommend?
Cream ale is also a very good choice. Cream ale,
like a stepping stone going.
Yeah,
into...
I mean, a cream ale is a little more flavorful. You're right. I mean, it would be a stepping stone, definitely.
I mean, you're the master.
No, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
So what do you know? Just checking the fermentation levels, or
what?
Right now.
No, I only use one hose here, so I clean the hose out. There's prior beer left in it, so I clean it out. I don't leave it hooked up.
All right.
Some people do. It's actually, I'd have 11 tubes in there if that was the case.
I can see.
Now this is
the pills.
Can you see the date? I think it's
Yeah, it is from 5/2/19.
so this is well aged.
So if somebody wants to keep their beer like right now here, like how long averagely can you keep it, or is it really relying on temperature?
Temperature is a big deal. It has also to do with the style of beer, or how it was hopped, and primarily the sanitation involved. Sanitation is a big deal with beer making. Everything has to be absolutely clean, no air in contact with it. I put beer in the kegs with a little bit of extra yeast, which tends to scrub any free oxygen away. So it's but you will see that this is what I gave Daniel in his growler, and he liked it. So
So what's the ideal temperature to keep the beer?
well, I don't know if there's an ideal temperature. I have it colder than you would normally want to keep it for service, but I only have one chamber here, so I have it at 34. So this is good enough to cold crash and then fine the beer afterwards so it gets clear.
So these are what you would call a pony keg, right?
No, it's actually just a
Fermentation keg.
Well, it's actually just a soda keg, 5-gallon soda keg. I don't know. A pony keg, I think, is an official thing that's made for beer. These are actually made for soda.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same thing that homebrewers use.
All right. Hey guys, let's just serve me a Pilsner. A traditional Pilsner, it seems like. It's a little bit of a bitterness, almost like an IPA, but not an IPA. It's a little different. Right off the bat, it's like a crisp taste. Like when you taste this, it's like you have that nice crispness to it. In the back, a little bit of the tartness from like an IPA, but more tart. It's actually tastes refreshing to me. I'm trying to pick up more notes on it, but give me a second. Yeah, it almost tastes like just a really refreshing beer. I don't want to say citrus, but it's like best way I could describe it. It's really refreshing beer. It's a nice beer on a warm day. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much more to say.
Would you say it would be like a good seasonal, summertime, springtime beer?
I say yeah. This is a great beer. I say right in that transition time where it's going from spring to summer. When you drink beer, you tend to a lot of people will drink beer seasonally. Like some people drink lagers throughout the colder months, and heavier ales like stouts and porters.
In the summertime, you get a lot of those honey, lemon, citrus
lot of
drinks.
the lemon, especially in springtime when you start getting more of that refreshing beer, the light lagers and the pilsners, the light ales. And I think this is right here is a perfect transition beer to the season of summer, drinking more, like say cervezas, like the Mexican lagers, like refreshing beers you could just lay back by the pool or on the beach, drink, relax, and not have a heavy beer in your stomach, but it's more refreshing. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this beer.
Once the grain's mixed in, it will settle into the temperature we want it to be. So I have it mostly heated, but it's going to be up to 151 and it's 145. Dang things don't last forever, unfortunately.
So the temperature when you brew, does it matter? Like to different styles of beer, or?
Very, very important. This is a rim system, which is recirculating infusion mash.
Okay.
So there's a heater on the side that's basically controlled by a PID controller, and it will keep this at a certain temperature as it recirculates. And so the temperature is very important in mashing.
Okay. So every style of beer will have its own temperature to brew?
Well, yes and no.
Or is it one of the questions like Depending on what you're trying to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
The temperature determines the fermentable substance, fermentable sugar spectrum.
Okay.
There's things that are kind of sweet that don't ferment very well. There's things that are really sweet that ferment very easily. And so you've had beers that are kind of dry when they finish.
Yeah.
And you've had beers that are kind of heavy and syrupy.
Yeah.
And that's primarily because of the temperature they use.
Okay.
And the ingredients too.
Like I noticed, like for me, like a double stout is kind of a heavy, like syrupy beer. And then regular stout is kind of, it's not as heavy as a double stout, but it's heavier than, say, a traditional, like a porter.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of that has to do with the temperature or the ingredients. The higher the temperature that you mash or do the starch conversion, the more body and less alcohol you have when you're done. The lower the temperature, within a range.
Within a range.
About low 140s up to about 160.
Okay.
Most people do a single infusion mash do around 150, 152 of that.
Okay.
We're going to do a German mash called the Hochhertz schedule, which is a step mash. There'll be 3 different temperatures in what we do.
Okay.
We're going to start out at 144.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll
slowly increase or decrease?
we'll go to the 144 for a while. For about 45 minutes. But this system will maintain that temperature because this is an electric heater here.
Okay.
So the liquid is pumped from the bottom of the kettle to the pump, back up through here to the electric heater, and then back in.
Oh, recycling to keep that ideal temperature.
The electric heater is controlled by a controller that may set a certain temperature and maintain that temperature.
Okay. Hopefully. Yeah. So right now we're just kind of getting ready to.
When you start out, you want to have the water at a certain temperature, so you dump all this cold grain in. The resulting temperature is kind of where you want to be.
Okay.
It's called science, kids.
Yeah, science.
It's science. It's all a matter of heat balance, heat conservation, basically.
So remember all those science classes you guys took about heat extraction, all those science classes? And then you want to brew beers, like, that science never going to work. There you go.
That's why I'm a mechanical engineer.
Stay in school, people.
Yeah, stay in school. So it looks like we reached our temperature. Did we reach our temperature?
We did. We're very close to it. The problem is, this is kind of a small run for this system, and the water in here is barely above this probe.
Okay.
So
I was about to say it smells kind of sweet, but I think it's this guy's cologne. It smells pretty.
I'm not wearing cologne today, so all natural.
I'm just naturally sweet.
And that's according when you do home brewery, especially you with friends. You guys can joke around, but remain focused. That's a big focus on this. But you know, if you get a group of friends
Daniel
who brew,
knows me.
Yeah.
He has to deal with an engineer.
yeah. So like when you do home brewery,
This is always
especially when you
joking
do-
around.
Yeah, I'm always just hanging out and joking.
See, it could be a fun time with you guys, like you and a couple buddies, you and your friends, just kind of get. If you all get into the home brewing, you guys could hang out, brew the beers you guys like, and there it goes. Like it'd be an experience for all you guys.
Okay, now
Like Captain
Now
America
we're
for a
gonna
second.
be putting the barley in, correct?
that's correct, along with the wheat.
Along with the wheat.
Yeah, this is basically 2 row malted barley,
All right.
and there's Gambrinus honey malt, and then there's wheat malt.
Alright.
Or just that's not wheat malt. It's actually
Can I
just
see it?
flaked wheat, which is
It almost looks like oatmeal. I want to say.
It is. It's gelatinized. It's flaked wheat, which is softened with water and then run through rollers that smash out. The rollers are very hot. They're steam heated, so as it gets smashed between the rollers, the starch inside the wheat gelatinizes, and so it's It's already hydrolyzed inside of here.
Okay.
That's why I have to use this flake wheat. It says pre-gelatinized raw wheat.
Right. So if you say you're not gonna get pre-gelatinized, you have to do that whole process yourself.
Gelatinize it yourself, which is a mess.
Just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that would be a headache and big investment. Wow,
What?
it smells delicious, actually.
Yeah, you can make breakfast cereal out of it, no doubt about it.
It almost smells like a breakfast. Like I could just start picking at it, eating it.
You could taste it. It's fine.
Little taste test.
Not curious enough.
Better than General Mills?
Actually, it tastes pretty good. Actually, being it tastes like a breakfast cereal, like something that I was a kid eating.
Yeah, it does. It's good.
Yeah. Can't make good beer with ingredients that taste good. It's a simple concept, but it is the truth.
How are we not going to get citrus sides?
Huh?
How are we not going to get
Oh,
citrus
sorry.
sides?
I'm going to get up on the table here, then you can come around on that side. Now we're going to do what is referred to as doughing in. Let me see here. Something has been seen. Pardon me, gentlemen. Excuse me.
Doughing in.
What was the
No idea what that means.
thing you were cleaning that with?
No, it's on the stop.
Okay.
Just making soup.
Making soup.
Soup of the day.
Now my younger brewing friends love to give me shit about this being my brewery rag.
I hope they're clean.
I say it's the Hanes that gives it the flavor.
I tried to keep that out of the camera. I tried to.
No.
Everybody's gonna have a brewing rag, correct?
That's right.
That's an important thing. Because everything's hot and you want some type of barrier between
That's
you and the pieces. Like this piece right here,
It's
if I
hot.
pick that up, I don't want to go to the hospital. So,
Alright, so now the going in shall start.
alright. He has an assistant.
Ready?
What's the scent that you're getting off of that, Ivan?
As of right now,
Looks like Miller Brewery.
Miller. If you're from California and you drive through a brewery, or if you live somewhere by a brewery and you drive through, you smell like a brewery, like they're brewing something, but the smell. Right now, I'm smelling a lot of the wheat right now, so, and a little bit of a honey.
So which part of the beer that when people drink, they always say they got the gas from, that gives them the what's so-called beer farts?
I don't know.
Is it from the CO2? Okay.
The CO2, the carbonation from it.
So it's not from all the wheat and the barley?
No. No, that's from, like when you drink a lot of soda, some people do get flatulence.
You
Rinse it out.
just put some water in there so we can keep it wet.
So in short, drink responsibly?
In short, drink responsibly, and a lot of it's person per person who gets the beer fart, the flatulence. I'm trying to be professional here. So.
No, I don't do that.
Oh no! Oh, you get the farts. But that's some people
Depends
get
on
that
what
from.
kind of beer it is. Homemade beers frequently have yeast left in them. Like I was saying, which tend to exacerbate the flatulence potential. Should
Yeah.
we say?
Yeah. So right now we're just gonna be
I'll put
reheating
it-
and boiling it.
No boiling.
No.
No boiling.
No boiling. Okay.
You boil, you denature the enzymes.
Okay.
That's
So-
after we do the mashing.
After we do the mashing. So right now what
Now
we're
we've
doing,
doughed in,
doughed in.
and we let it sit for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Now I wanted to shoot for about 144, and it's 142.
Okay.
That's close enough. It's going to sit for 15 minutes, and the complication that I found with the rim system is that you're constantly recirculating the liquid through a bed of grain, and unless it flows through well, the system doesn't work. And that was one of the most difficult things to learn how to do in this, to get it to flow well. So part of the thing is, once we've mixed it up,
Yeah.
I want the grains settle under gravity and start setting the bed, as they call it.
Okay.
We're just gonna let it sit. The conversion is happening now. The sugars are starting to form as we speak.
All right.
Because this is sitting at 142, which is within the range of the beta amylase, which will convert and make maltose. So this is going to sit. Is anybody ready for another beer?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to kill the rest of that in there?
Sure. Let's finish that Pilsner off.
So the recipe unfortunately called for 1.5 pounds, and so we have to sacrifice this to the trash can, but you might practice it.
Oh, really?
Actually, let me be polite.
I see a lot of footage of this being done in the video today,
Well,
Leo.
there's no real reason to make this unless you can drink it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Lot
that's
of
why I'm
footage,
glad
lot
you
of
guys
footage.
are involved now, because I like to make it and I can't drink it that much anymore.
It's called, I think it's called Thesis.
Thesis?
Checking the.
Hey, Dad, are you giving the celebration next?
You want to do that?
Yeah. If
Very
I can
good.
Get a glass.
Good.
I haven't had the celebration yet.
Sure. It's very good.
Oh, super refreshing, especially being.
We didn't feel the celebration last year was
tuned.
very good.
Yeah, that's what you're telling me.
Stay tuned as we continue the burn.
That's fine.
Now we're making sure everything is sort of mixed evenly. And
Smells better than masa for tamales.
yeah,
And don't get these pans, these ollas, confused, because they're not for tamales, man. They're making some really good beer here.
those tamales your family got that time were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they buy those, you know?
The ones I gave you were from my mom.
She made them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are really good. I like the green chili and cheese ones.
Yeah.
Hey, those were good. Yeah, I've never really had that before.
The tamales you had?
Well, there was a couple long back. I
3 or
gave some.
4. Okay.
I gave some to Les. My mom had
Oh, the ones that we had at your house up from Wood Fishing.
This is all B-side footage. But
Oh, okay.
You know, she got it from some lady was selling them, and I
so what process we're doing now, Les?
I'm just looking up a manifold for recirculation, so it'll.
Brewer.
Yeah, do that.
Part of the recirculation process is rather tricky, and so this I devised to sort of deal with the channeling problems that a lot of systems have.
Out of my own opinion, but I think brewing beer is kind of like cooking for yourself. You can go out and eat wherever you want, but when you cook yourself your own meal, it's much more satisfying because you put your own
Flair on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you can go out and buy beer anywhere, but his beer that he's making his way, the way he wants it to taste, and blah blah blah. And I like that.
it's got
This
the
whole
Hanes
setup.
flavor.
Yep.
This whole setup right here, very expensive setup to start off as home brewer. So there are home brewer kits you could start off with, like small ones.
Well, I want to
So-
Target that's like what, $39.99.
I wouldn't get that one. I know, honestly. Kind of look around. I know they online and there's some stores that sell home brewing kits, and they can guide you better as a better alternative than that little home brew one. Maybe it's probably like, I don't know, 6 beers out of that, but I wouldn't recommend that one. I tried beer from there. It's disgusting.
What do you have there, sir?
Celebration Ale clone.
If it's a clone from where?
clone from me.
Oh. So I never heard of Celebration Ale.
Oh,
Sierra Nevada comes up with a celebration ale every year.
Every holiday, they come up with a celebration ale.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's credited with being really the first American IPA that was made popular back in 1983 or something. It came out originally.
Sierra Nevada.
Hey, gentlemen, you gonna have some?
Yes, please.
Let's see.
If you can share it. So to make something like that, would that take a longer process?
No, it's the same amount of process, the same amount of time.
Okay. Because I always thought,
It's just a different. You have longer boils, shorter boils.
because I thought darker beers take,
They're just different grains.
oh, different grains. Okay. So if you're gonna make like, what's that one?
That smells good.
That's the Celebrate?
Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale clone.
Did they give out their recipes as well?
Thanks, sir.
They tell you what malts, what hops, IBUs, and original and final gravity.
So as long as you stick.
Smells like Sierra Nevada already.
You should be able to get somewhat.
Oh, it smells like I'm hiking. Because you know how it has that pine scent, the pine
Yeah.
Yeah,
flavor.
a lot of Sierra Nevadas have that smell.
Yeah.
Up north.
Is that
Yeah.
the
Sierra Nevada.
Some Centennial,
Centennial?
and Cascade.
That's delicious.
That is
Isn't that
very
good?
good.
Man, that's good.
What are your notes, your flavors?
I was eating, so my notes, my flavors are all messed up. Right now.
Woody.
Yeah, piney, woody,
Centennial would be woody.
Yeah.
little woody notes, like a hint of pine. Right
To me,
there.
it tastes like torpedo, but it could just be me.
No,
Very close.
but it's
Very
Sierra
close
Nevada
to that.
makes torpedo.
Torpedo,
The torpedo?
Sierra Nevada torpedo.
Of course, it's almost a year old now, so
Really?
it's very
Mm.
Wow.
So the same process again for what is that dark beer I like to drink?
Guinness.
For Guinness. Same
Yeah.
process?
Same process. Their boil might be a little bit longer because it's a little thicker.
Mm.
Guinness, is their boil longer? They pull more water out of it?
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
They have different
It's just different malts in there.
malts as well.
Guinness.
Different malts than.
Is it because it's definitely thicker?
Oh,
They use coffee for that too, right? And chocolate?
No,
No?
nothing. No
they use
coffee.
roasted barley, which gives it that coffee taste. And they-
Oh, roasted barley.
There's
Oh,
other
okay.
Things that give it coffee and chocolate flavor, though.
Yeah.
So all that stuff about notes of caramel, notes of this is just
Nope,
the barley.
it's barley. That's right.
Called false advertising. But okay.
When it's not false art, it's because there's different kind of barleys and how they roast them, how they grain them and stuff like that. That's when you start getting different notes.
Straight through.
That's why, like
Treats
our
are so-
our barley
so
was a
flawless
different
with
color
your
and notes.
Took a long time to make it work.
So this is the part where we're transferring?
No, we're not transferring. We're just saying to recirculate.
You start.
You want to come in and look inside?
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen a video like this online.
Okay. The temperature and adjusting the heat that goes into the lens.
The controller you were talking about is right here. It's monitoring all the temperatures like he was stating. As the son was saying, it will help raise and lower the temperature. So if it gets too hot, it'll help drop the temperature down.
So it's a regulator.
Yeah, it's a regulator.
You can't lower the temperature. What can do is increase it.
Apologies, you only could increase it.
And of course, everything needs fire.
Yeah.
We all did a hookah dance before we did this. The haka. It was cool.
Haka's a warrior dance.
Oh yeah, that's bad, dude. Oh man.
We did the fire dance. Actually, no, we didn't do no dancing.
No. So to have a good beer takes time, just like wine.
That's right. It's more or less a day process. 6 hours maybe. So if you're going to condense this into a half hour, you're going to be doing some editing.
Yeah, it's gonna be thorny. Good.
Hungry.
Yeah, you're not camera ready either.
Pardon?
Oh, so we're changing the temperature right now? We've been brewing for a couple hours now. So you're releasing pressure?
I'm going to change, I'm going to raise the temperature now.
Raise the temperature.
Raise the temperature.
Yes, we do.
That is hot.
It's called fire.
Like I was close and it was a little on the hot side.
Damn, caveman.
Fire.
Feels like Vegas.
Nice little tan here. One side.
$140. All right.
So what are you looking for in there right now?
I'm just checking out the recirculation and making sure everything's flowing, because you've got to have everything flowing properly when you turn the heat on.
Okay.
Now we're going to raise the temperature here.
He's raising the temperature on the regulator.
Yeah, right there. So the bottom is the current temperature,
Bottom is the set temperature, the top
and
is
the top is the current temperature.
Yeah.
It smells like, I want to say bread almost. If you're breaking bread.
Good one. It's a good analogy.
That, what would you say would be a better analogy?
Well, it's a grain product, so it's like bread. It goes on that way.
My curiosity is, what's the final one for?
That's what you're boiling.
The boil. Okay.
It's transferred from here over to there eventually.
6-hour process.
6 hours.
Multi-step process, yeah, unfortunately.
So stay tuned.
12 gallons, which ended up with 10 gallons, two of those kegs full.
Two of those kegs, so we got 12.
Well, each keg was 5. So
Five?
There's a little bit of loss.
So we've made about 12 gallons,
Yeah,
and we're actually going to get about 10 drinkable
yeah.
gallons of beer.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was looking at this, and he says that this is just a pressure. Pressure.
Oh, so yeah, I thought that'd be gallons also.
It is. It actually is a gallon rating, but it's functioning like a manometer now. So it measures the difference in pressure.
Oh. So we're moving up from 140 to 160.
We're heading towards 175.
175. Okay.
So we've got the flame on under here. The temperature will slowly go up.
Brought to you by Costco.
I was about to say that, Kirkland.
sponsored by Kirkland.
Sponsored by.
We're just joking.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by anybody. It's just a joke.
Just a joke.
Yeah. Sorry,
Like a
Kirkland.
suit.
So making birria tacos.
I'm thinking about making birria tacos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You bring Sue over?
no,
That's good.
no, do you try like a goat leg or do you do the whole goat?
No, it's gonna be beef.
Oh,
It's gonna be beef.
no birria?
No, that's birria. Birria.
I know, birria's good.
No. So it's been a few hours now. Now we're moving
Few
from the
fun-filled, exciting hours of waiting.
yeah. So we're moving from the mash part to the
Boiling kettle.
boiling kettle part.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're pumping
Pumping
from.
from here up through this tube and into there.
So are we filtering at the same time or?
The grain bed does the filtering.
Okay, so.
That's why
alright.
the recirculation works well because it filters and it's nice and clear. Looking to see it's already clear.
Oh wow, yeah, you can't see it. It's very clear, like almost drinkable beer right now.
And it smells great.
It does. I agree.
Oh wow, yeah, it smells delicious. So now, how long would this process take?
Well, we have to pump all this in, and we have to just hot water in here and pump it in, and recirculate it through here, and get the last of the sugar out from this and pump it in there. So once we get this full, then we'll start the boiling.
Okay.
And we can
So-
kind of do two things in parallel to a certain degree.
Okay. So time-wise, it varies.
Yeah, but I'd say another half hour for this operation.
Okay. With what we're making right now.
Yeah.
So it could be half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, it just depends. But it sure smells good though.
It
Yes,
sure
it
does.
does.
Yes, it does.
What the beer's gonna smell like.
I wish you guys could smell it, like just standing next to it, the boiling kettle, you could smell it. Like if you go over, you could just totally smell it. It smells very delicious.
What's it smell like?
Like much like the grain here, like now it smells more like the beer, more like the 805, but warm, like almost like a bready smell to it.
Like an 805 sauna.
Like an
Yeah.
805 sauna.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect way. I was trying to find the words correctly, but that's what it smells like now. Like this smells like bread, but now over here it smells more like the 805. That's what we're making a clone of. So with this, like the brewer said, about half an hour we're gonna take, but it will vary from beer, right? From beer to beer, sour to sour.
Gotta go in the house.
Gotta go to the house. All right.
Get some.
All right. Stay tuned. Keep watching, and as the process goes on, we'll keep filling in the video. Let's say. If you saw the part early in the video that was we just started filling it. Now, if you take a look now, and it's a little steamy, but you see how it's turning, and a lot of it's boiling right now. And the home brewer over here is doing as. What are you doing right here, home brewer?
We're doing a disparaging operation now. So we've added additional water to this, and now we're going to leach more sugar out of the grain.
Okay.
Because we only got some of the sugar in that. We need more, so we're going to.
So you're trying.
We put more fresh water in here to leach it out, and then this will be pumped into there.
Okay. So that's part of the whole fermentation process to get the alcohol and the carbonation.
Otherwise, you leave too much sugar behind. So the goal is to get as much of the malt compound as you can.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're wasting money.
Okay.
Now, professional brewers are especially concerned with that, just because they want to be as profitable as possible.
Doing all the adjustments right now to be able to leach out as much sugar as you can.
Adjusting the flow. So now we're going to recirculate this, and we put really hot water in here, about 185 F. So that'll leach the sugar out of that malt that's left from after that. And we'll do recirculating to clarify it through the grain bed. And that'll take about minutes, and we'll pump it into there, and that's boiling properly. And we'll pump this in and start boiling at the hops.
Okay. Are we using fresh hops or pellet hops? Pellet. Right. And we'll explain more of that in a minute. Stay tuned.
I thought it wouldn't get that high.
Because you only have 8 gallons in there running in your huge kettle.
This prevents it from happening.
Okay.
You don't want that. You make a mess.
So what about a couple drops of that?
Yeah.
So what does it do? Break down the foam?
Yeah, it's got silicon in it, so it prevents the bubbles from forming.
Okay.
Prevents the head from forming. So
We use sandpaper. No, we use sanitizer. Kill the head. Sanitizer.
Sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
This setup is awesome.
No. It's not.
Sanitizer.
He doesn't like
That's a different
yeast and the... Hey guys, we're at the end of the brewing process, which is we're gonna put it into a jug right here, the fermentation, and we'll put it from the boil kettle, going through the coils to help cool it off, and to the fermentation. Right now, it was just filling it up, and if less, excuse me, HomeBrewer would like to.
you can cut that section.
Yeah. HomeBrewer would like to explain a little bit more.
Well, we have to get this down to pitching temperature as quickly as possible. And so that's going through a counterflow wort chiller where you have tap water running in one direction and there's a coil inside of it which contains the beer, and it's going in the other direction. It ends up being very efficient. If you feel that tube there coming out, you'll see it's pretty close to the hose temperature, but it's going in it.
Yeah, it's very close.
It's going in at basically almost boiling
Touch
temperature.
this one. You'll see the temperature difference.
Yeah, wow. That is a big difference right there.
Yeah.
That's really close to almost drinking temperature, I'll say.
And in the winter it's even better, but now when we're done with this, and we'll put it in a chamber where we can control the fermentation temperature. We're going to split this between, yours is, you have the stuff drained out of yours now? So this will be ready to drink in a few weeks.
Okay.
Alright.
Ready to drink in a few weeks?
In a few weeks, and we'll get back to that process later.
That's fun for us, but I'm not sure how much fun it is for people watching.
Exactly. Like, it's long, just at a certain temperature. What temperature is that at?
It's going to ferment at 68 degrees.
At 68 degrees, so about 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, the fermentation will probably take about 3 or 4 days, but then it has to clear and then age a little bit.
Okay.
Might do some fining, which is clearing even further.
All right. So that whole process, how long will that?
Well, it'll probably be in the chiller and within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks?
In the chiller about 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're at the end. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We'll see about kegging.
Another exciting, breath-holding episode of Brewing with HomeBrewer.
Exactly. HomeBrewing. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Like always, stay adventurous. This is Real Camera Adventures. Thank you. Have a nice day.